Alright, so let's see here. So, I'm sure this is going to get covered quite a bit, but the ICOM 7300 Mark II, we were joking about this a couple years ago. We were like, they're going to come out with the 7310, you know. I honestly think that ICOM is about 3 years behind on doing this. They should have did this before the 710 came out. The 7300 is 10 years old now. It came out at the end of 2015, I think. Or did it come out? I don't know. Anyway, it's almost 10 years old. And so all those radios are pretty old. And like when it came out, like I get it, it didn't have a monitor output, but they've had radios in the past that have monitor outputs, like the 7000 and stuff like that. So this new one here, we could just watch this really quick. It's not a real long video. So I'm sure everybody's seen this already. 24,000 views. Okay, so let's pause it right here, and we can see that basically where they were doing these pan adapters, they put SMAs over here. Honestly, don't understand the SMA, but I guess you can hook it directly to an SDR play or something. I don't know, it's a receive loop, I thought. So we have an HDMI, which is cool, but I mean, they're not as durable. A USB-C, which I'd rather not see. These are a pain in the butt. Maybe a little more durable than some of the previous, but not as good as the old USB-A. The USB-A, in my opinion, is the best, most reliable USB connector. And they might have another reason why they're using this. And you have their, apparently the 13 DIN pin goes way back to the 706 and all that stuff. They're still using that, and I don't care for that connector, but yeah, sure. I also don't care for these HF4 connectors or whatever they're called. I like the old style. These ones are just, they're hard to disconnect, and I don't know. There was nothing wrong with the old ones. There was no reason to change. So they always change all this stuff on radios, and they don't ever ask us, well, what would you like to see? But maybe this right here was based on them seeing what people were doing. Now hopefully it does look that good, because none of my stuff does. These sound effects are horrible. It's no different than the old port. So now you have to get a USB-C. this music on here is really bad. I mean, it's bad, okay? I would rather have somebody talk about the radio or something like that, but anyway, it was funny how we have this video from ICOM UK, but we don't have anything from Japan or the USA. And anyway, so they pretty much like covered everything here, and you can go look here if you want. Ham Radio Outlet is doing pre-orders. There's some information on their website about it. It doesn't say what the price is going to be. It doesn't say when it's going to be available, but I'm sure it will be available in time for Christmas so they can make some money. I do not like the USB. I don't know what the hell they were thinking. The other one was dual virtual ports. The other question is this going to beat any of the previous radios on the Sherwood test when they give him a free radio or whatever they do? And really, who cares? I'm not a CW operator. I don't do CW, and that's primarily what he does. So anyway, but apparently he's the authority on radios. I don't have a laboratory to test stuff, and I don't know what he actually does. I don't really care. And you get a radio, you're the one that's going to use it, not some dude testing it in a laboratory and saying, this is the best radio. This one has such low blah blah blah. The muffler bearings work really good when you're dealing with CW jammers. Like, okay, come on, man. Real world application here. Are you going to hear the difference between a 7300 and a 7610 on the air? Talking. No. You're not going to hear the difference. They sound the same. Are you going to hear the difference between a 710, an FTDX10, or a 101? No, they sound the same to most people, especially under poor band conditions. But I'm curious, is this going to be better than the other radios? And are we going to get 100 watts out of it without having to run the damn processor? I don't understand why ICOM does this. They put out these radios, like 200 watt radios and stuff that don't do 200 watts. Yeah, you put them on CW, boom, there's 200 watts. But you start to talk on it on a peak reading meter on sideband, and you don't have 200 watts until you turn the processor on. And which is strange because I've had radios like the ICOM 756 Pro, and that thing puts out like 130 something watts. But you get other radios like the 7300, you got to turn on the processor. A lot of radios nowadays are like that. And they try and put 2 transistors into one package and all this other crap. So anyway, hopefully my video is okay, because I'm having problems with the microphone, but I wanted to put this out before everybody and their mom put out a video, just to throw my opinion in the ring on the ICOM 7300 Mark II. One of the things that I predict will happen is the used 7300 will go down $200 in price as far as used sales, because who's going to want to buy a 7300 after this comes out? Because everybody wants a display. Most people do. Anybody that's buying a radio like this is going to want a display. Now, hopefully they do better than Yaesu did with their 800 by 600 resolution output on a DVI. And also, hopefully, it will pass audio through the HDMI port as well. And you could plug it into your sound bar or something like that. The possibilities are endless. I mean, you could run it through a home theater stereo with HDMI. So hopefully they did that. You can technically hook an HDMI to the Yaesus with a DVI, but you also can burn out the card on the back of the radio. So I think it's a step in the right direction to go with an HDMI, even though it's a licensed thing. But also DVI is licensed too. It just doesn't cost as much. There's a licensed name to the DVI name, as far as I recall. But anyway, I have a 7300. I have a 710. I've had 3 7300s, and I think it's a really great radio, and I think it sounds good. I like a lot of things that it has, and I think this will be really a game changer having that display port. But like I said, I think they're 3 years behind, and I think they're just dragging it out as long as possible on the old 7300 just to make money. And another thing too, my first 7300, the USB port broke on it, and I called up and I got some dickhead on the phone at ICOM giving me the riot act about how I have a loop antenna, so I must have damaged the radio with RF. And you know, oh, you're an amateur extra class, but you don't know what you're doing. It's like, oh, okay, well, even if I memorized all the questions and passed my test, okay. If you guys have seen what I do on the channel, I fix radios, I do all kinds of stuff. I might not know everything, but I'm not fucking stupid. And, you know, the guy was like, well, we're not going to fix the radio. It was 4 months old. We're not going to fix the radio because you can send it in, but I'm sure it's RF damage. And I said, well, why isn't it protected then? Well, why is the USB port not shielded? Because he admitted it wasn't shielded. And I don't know, but anyway, so later on I traded that radio and some other stuff for an FT102 because I was that pissed off with ICOM. And that's like the same dude that answers the phone. He likes to fucking argue. He's a dick. I don't know who he is, but I've had him on the phone a couple of times, and he's argumentative. And they are a pain in the ass to deal with. ICOM in Bellevue, they're a pain in the ass to deal with. I've ordered parts from them. They're a pain in the ass to deal with. They like do some weird email crap, and they send you an email, and then they want like your credit card number. It's just really, it seems suspicious, and you have no choice but to do it because, you know, and then they charge you $20 to ship a little tiny RIT encoder. The RIT encoder was like $12 or $7 or something, and they charged me $20 to ship this thing. FedEx ground, no tracking, no insurance, no fucking nothing. Nothing. You gonna tell me it cost you $20 to send that thing? You bent me over backwards and made like $15 on shipping on a $7 part. I mean, that's dirty. Like, I was all excited when I found out how cheap the part was. I was like, that's really good. And then, you know, when I had to pay the shipping, I was like, that's ridiculous. So, but Yaesu, on the other hand, man, I haven't sent anything to them, but everybody, like, I've seen people get the finals replaced in their radio for like under $200, you know, and really fast too. But I don't know that I could buy another ICOM again. I've got so many radios right now, guys, that like this radio doesn't offer anything for me. It's the wrong size, form factor. It's too big to be portable. It's too big to be mobile. You can take it portable, but you're not going to go hike a summit with it. And it's too small sitting on the desk. It just looks tiny, just like the 710. You know, I need a larger radio, you know. And lately, with the way the bands and all that stuff are, who cares? I mean, like, I've got a 7300, I've got a 710, I got a FTDX 3000, I've got, you know, a 1000 MP. And if I'm going to buy one, I will wait for a year for it to be out. And I would still rather have the 7610 because it's just a better size of a radio. It's a lot more expensive, but what I'm waiting for them to do is I'm waiting to see what large radio they're going to put out. I'm waiting to see what Yaesu is going to do when they replace their 101. So anyway, I just thought I would kind of share this with you guys. So that I know not everybody knows that this was revealed at the Tokyo Ham Fair, I guess they call it. There's some other radios also on the pre-order list down here too. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.